All the people along the shore were equally surprised to hear that the cabin was inhabited. Few had known Mr. Abel well, nor had anyone seen him in quite some time. Few had even known that he had passed away, and no one was aware that he'd recently been married. The invitations to the party had come from the old man's widow. Like everyone else, I was curious, drawn by the mystery. I myself hadn't exactly been invited to the party. My parents had been, though my father chose not to go. My excuse was that I was going to retrieve my mother, walk her home through the darkness. Once I reached the Abel cabin, I paused, standing below it, on the beach. I could hear voices from the party, laughter. In the lit windows above, I could see the heads, the upper bodies of people I knew, the Hogues, the Glens, and then some I didn't know, one of whom was likely Mrs. Abel. I stepped into the trees, out of the moonlight, past the wooden doors that closed off the storage space beneath the Abel cabin. I climbed the slope around the cabin, toward the back door, which was open. People were leaving, and, exuberant with wine, they shouted my name when they saw me. "You're all grown up. Getting any writing done? Thinking about that day job yet?" I joked along, uneasily, making my way through the door, into the dim cabin. I was used to this banter, the uneven, sporadic way I'd see these people, only in the summer, often years apart, was a syncopation that brought wonder at my growth when I was young, and had now degenerated into a kind of embarrassment at my stasis, my stalled progress. Inside, the cabin was lit by candles, 2 kerosene lanterns on a table. Shadows flickered along the walls. Bowls full of different-colored beach glass, blue, white, and green, caught the candlelight from atop a piano. The cabin was small, shaped like an L. I didn't see my mother. Most of the voices and people seemed to be around the corner, in what must have been the kitchen. I crossed the shadowy room, past a low, threadbare couch, around a table. One window faced the lake, and beside it a wooden ladder slanted, leading to a sleeping loft above. The ladder had been sawn off 10 feet up, and was splattered with white paint. Reaching out, I touched one of its rungs, the duct tape wrapped around it. People behind me were talking about the old man, when and how he'd died, who had seen him last. Lakeside property, who had it, who might sell or inherit it, taxes, was a favorite topic up and down the shore. Some at the party had no doubt been maintaining designs on this cabin, this parcel of land, and so they were curious where this mysterious widow had come from, and how she came to possess this property. What were her intentions? The air in the room smelled like kerosene, sharp and acrid, tight in my throat. The sound of the wind and the waves came through the window next to me, rattled the glass. Next to the window, a piece of paper had been set with one nail into the log wall. One side was torn, its edge like the lip of a wave. It had been torn from a book, and candlelight flickered along the image. It was a painting of a fire in a spare forest, red leaves or sparks leaping above the flames into the broken branches of the charred trees above. The moon shone down, and in the background at the bottom of a slope stood a small cabin, striped white and gray, concrete and timber, just like the one I was standing inside. The yellow window of that cabin could be the one I was standing beside. Suddenly I felt trapped, claustrophobic. I closed my eyes, certain that if I looked out the window I would see a forest fire in the moonlight rather than the storm coming across the lake. "Are you going to climb into my bedroom?" I let loose of the ladder and turned to face her, this woman whom I'd never seen before, who had to be Mrs. Abel. She was tall and slender, as tall as I was, almost 6 feet. "No," I said. "I just—" "You can, if you want," she said, gesturing at the loft.